Okay, go to Mud Fossil University, subscribe, click the little bell or whatever is there that's supposed to alert you to the fact that I have new videos, because they go up virtually every day. These are truthful videos. These are videos about our past, about our history, about things that have been overlooked and suppressed forever. And it's time that we looked at them in the real light of day. And that's what we're doing now. So stay with me. Take a couple of deep breaths. This is going to be something that you're not going to expect unless you've been here with us on Mud Fossil University before. So sit down, take it easy, get ready. Okay, what you're looking at there is the tendinenthesis points. These are the balls that invest in these little tiny holes, and I will show you a mud fossil bone in a second. But they are on these straps, and ligaments hold bone to bone, and then bone to tendon, bone to tendon to muscle, and then also muscle to muscle. So here's what you're going to see in the actual mud fossil. You see that hole there with all those little tiny holes in it? That's a ligament attachment. It holds a bone to a bone. Boom, solid like that. Now, those little tiny holes are what you see. These fit in those, in a normal bone. These are pulled out. And you see mud fossils, you see the only last little bit of the bone is right there. The bones go away, and this is the, you see that triangular looking shape there on it? That's how the fabric of the bone, it's called periosteum. The ancients called it tunica. It wraps, it's a vascular, bloody layer that invests all the way around all of your different, well, it's like fascia. It surrounds all of the different things in your body. Every bone is surrounded by it, every organ, every cell actually ends up being surrounded by fascia. So let's go a little deeper. Alright, I showed you those tendon balls on the straps. That is a tendon ball, and that is the strap. That was another one here. There's another one here. There's more out here. They come in huge clusters. This originally was this height, I believe, somewhere around here. The balls just hang inside, and they get in, so they have enough where they can hold, but they will pop out of here. And I'm going to show you one that did in the size of a creature today. Alright, there's one of those tendon mats. I showed you those balls. They all come down, and they have the straps coming all down, and they anchor. Well, this is one of those straps. That is one of those balls. And that's where it was supposed to be, down in here, and it got pulled out. And they are, this is a microscopic shot in a human being. And that is just showing the injury, the ball pulled out. This is what's called a Chinese finger trap. It's like a little hole. This comes right through it. The ball goes through. It anchors into the tuberosity. And it lets that mat be pulled back and forth along this, between these 2 points. Now, in South America, in Peru, they used these mats when they were cut soft. They broke off these little tips, they sliced them, and then they put them up and made walls out of them. And that's why you see these little bumps on the walls down in Peru. So don't tell me that this is not possible, the sizes of the things I'm talking about. You see the difference in the sizes we're talking about. And they're just, the average mind cannot even get there for some time. So let your mind settle, please. Don't shut yourself out of this. Think before you judge anything, because this no one expected. All right, don't think that you're unusual, that you're having some kind of a reaction, because this no one expects. So think, don't react, think. Okay, another couple of deep breaths. Just another couple of deep breaths. This is underneath the Great Lakes, and they mine salt under there. This is salt. You see what this guy is doing here? You see that pick? He's picking out these black things. And these black things are vein blood, which is FeO2, black iron vein blood. If you see over here, you see that? You see that red spot, that red spot, that red spot? That is the arterial blood, and this is the tissue layers. This has not anything to do with volcanoes or any of that business, they think. Nothing whatsoever. And in Derinkuyu, it's enormously bigger than this creature was. And these layers, I believe, are the layers that they're building. They're digging down and building into these soft layers of tissue, or it's plant material, but it is one or the other, and that is no question whatsoever. In my mind, if you can prove me wrong, I would be certainly like to see that. But from everything that I have done and everything that I have researched and everything that I have looked at materially, I say this is correct. So let's go on from here. All right, this is an article about Derinkuyu, and they marveled at this thing. They found it in 1963, I guess it was popped into accidentally. They broke into a wall there. Now, there's like, it's 250 feet deep. That's a long ways. 20,000 people or so live there. That's what they claim. Now, this is the structure. You see these ventilation shafts and all this business. They just absolutely marveled at all this stuff. And it goes through all kinds of features and this and that. Now, here's the only thing I want to really point out, and because I'll be showing you more about this shortly. You see these big gouges in these scrapes like this? The whole thing is scraped at once. The whole thing is scraped at once. This was soft. This was soft when they did this. The mud fossils, we've virtually proven that the mud fossils are flesh from animals that were caught in the Great Flood, and all of the flood waters dissolved all of the volatile organic compounds and went into solution in the water and then settled out. And I have something to talk about that too, because that is where they found a layer, and we'll discuss that later. But this was scratched out by hand. You scratch it with your fingernails if you wanted to. That was just it was like sort of like Play-Doh. It was nothing here that was hard to work. That's the key. They think this was also gigantic. Oh, what a bunch of work they did. Well, I don't think that's the case. This stuff, wherever the red blood is and the red blood tissues are, it's just like sand. Very, very, very non-structural. Once you get to the connective tissues, that is a different issue. And that down here is this stuff. You see that? That's the limestone CaCO3 where tendons come up and they meet flesh. That's my take on this. And wherever you run into the tendon, that's where you're going to stop chopping. Because trust me, that stuff is hard. But actually, when they did this wouldn't be hard either, because everything is soft in the ground. When they took out all of the stones from some of the temples, they marveled. They said this. They said they cut them out to just slice them right out soft. And as soon as they hit the air, they would start to dry out. And that's a fact, because our stuff does exactly the same thing. Almost instantaneously, it hardens up, because it is in the air, called oxidation, and the more oxidation and the more movement of air, the quicker it dries. It's identical to the process they make bricks. And as soon as they cut this out and scrape this and then left this for a couple of weeks, they come back, there would be a nice solid framework that they would have. And of course, over the time, it would dry and dry and dry. So that's just the case. Okay, this is a video I did a while back, Mud Fossil Tunnel Biology. Now, go to Mud Fossil University on YouTube. Mud Fossil University on YouTube. Subscribe. Go in there. There's hundreds and hundreds of videos, and they all are factual, just like this will be. Now, I'm going to play this, and you can see, and then hopefully you'll, because I already did it. I don't want to do another one about it. So just listen to this. All right, here we go. Okay, as you can see, this is Cappadocia. I'll comment on this after it's done.
Wind and water have sculpted strange shapes out of the soft volcanic rock.
Not volcanic.
Rock which ancient peoples once turned into small primitive dwellings. In more recent years, the site has seen the construction of more modern structures. But in 1963, a simple home renovation in the town of Derinkuyu led to an extraordinary discovery when a cave wall was opened, revealing a passageway to an underground city thousands of years old.
These are all
And even
arterial
280 feet deep.
passageways. They're all
I've been
arterial.
there on multiple occasions, and it's incredible because there's 13 stories that go deep into the ground with ventilation shafts and 15,000 little shafts that bring air to even the deepest of...
All right, this is all natural, believe it. All right, I won't bother leaving it on the video, but this is exactly what I was showing before, and I will show you again. It is the vascular network of either plant or creatures. And I believe now, as looking at this particular location, this probably would be plant. I don't know. These are the kind of things that need to be investigated, but it is some form of life. And the chemistry that's there will be conclusive, because things only have certain ways that they can reform. And I understand quite a bit of that. More needs to be done, but I'm getting pretty close. So let me just show you what this stuff represents, and then we'll go from there. All right, now the only thing I can say is it's either plant or it's animal. It's one or the other, so it needs to be looked at. But these tunnels here almost look like what we're seeing there at Darren Cuyu, but there's also things that look like muscle tissue there too. It may be more than one type of tissues that are there, but certainly needs to be looked at. And these things are not just there. They're all over the world. I mean, this is a very exciting time to be looking at this stuff. So anyway, go to Mud Fossil University. I have another video hopefully I'm going to be doing later today that's going to be put a timeline on all of these things, because there's a certain timeline here, and I'm getting pretty close to figuring that out too, using Plato and Solon and Herodotus and Hesiod and all the people in through history that have actually written things that we've always laughed at. Well, as you start matching them here and there and so forth, then you get into the Bible and you know, the Sumerian and all of these different things. The Egyptian priests, the texts, the pharaohs, all of these different hieroglyphs and things that are in the museums and statues and all of that stuff has a timeline to it. And I believe that the key to the timeline is the collapse of Atlantis. And in this next video that I will be doing later will be about the collapse of Atlantis and the running off of all the mud that flowed into the ocean and created the Cape Verde Islands, and how I can associate that to a timeline was recorded in history. And so anyway, go to Mud Fossil University on YouTube. Get educated. What you have learned is not correct. All right? That's all I have to say.